Hi there, this is Jimmy from Melty Resources. We provide training, consulting, and support services to retail businesses, especially food businesses such as restaurant, bakery, and confectionery businesses. Today, I am introducing our retail sales solution with real-time reporting features to you. As a support service resource firm, we study business challenges and come up with customized solutions capable of eliminating those challenges to provide effortless work process, database management, customer management, and efficient cash flow management processes. So today, like I mentioned, I'm introducing you to our retail solution. We have the retail manager solution, which is for the front end, and we also have the business manager. These two solutions are actually working together. The retail manager solution is mostly for the front end sales. Okay, while the business manager solution takes care of the back end. Now, the two solutions, like I mentioned earlier, actually works together for a business that have multiple branches. What you have to do is to install the retail manager across all the locations while you have the business manager in your head office. So the business manager have all the features of the retail manager, while the retail manager have just very few features that are relevant to his activities. So before I'm going to show us how the different features of this solution, let me quickly log into, we are going to start with the retail manager, that is the front end solution. And then later, we are also going to look at how the business manager, which is the back end solution, works. So here, I have, this particular dashboard where ideally all the staff or members of the team who have access to this solution, their names are going to be listed out here. So I only have two kind of categories here, the cashier, which is just like a group, and a built-in administrator. So I'm going to sign in as an administrator so that I can have access to other features of this solution as I'm explaining. So once I click it as highlighted, that means I can actually key in my password. So that's what I just do now. Okay, so, okay, all right. Okay, sorry about this. So I have logged in to the retail manager. So this is the retail part of the solution, which is the front end. So this is where the sales team are actually using, to carry out sales activities, with the customers. Now, what are the features of this solution? What are those unique features that we should expect from this solution? Number one is that this solution has what we call easy customization to plan details. So for all our customers, for all our clients, we can easily customize this solution to suit your business, in terms of your brand, in terms of your logo, in terms of your business color, whatever it is, we can customize it to suit your business. And then there is also real-time reporting, real-time access and reporting. If you are not, at the business location, like I mentioned before, if you have multiple outlets, you can actually stay at your at wherever you are, the head office, at home, anywhere you are, and have real-time access, to the activities in your business. One, there is an internet connection as we have here. Here is a status connected. So once the software is connected to the internet, you can access it from anywhere at any time. And then another unique feature of this solution is that it works both online and offline. So if people are connected to the internet, they can still use it to do their various transactions. If there is no internet, of course, at various locations, at various branches, transaction can still be ongoing without any obstruction. Okay, and then there's also a virtual Airtime-To-Cash swap. These are things that you can, the unique features about the front-end solution of this software. Okay, there's a virtual Airtime-To-Cash swap. What that simply means is if a customer buys things and your team do not have enough balance or change, they can easily, exchange the customer change or the customer balance, as the case may be, with a virtual Airtime. Let me also say this, and you can also use this solution to sell Airtime, virtual Airtime. And then there is also, a barcode scanner availability for supermarket, for retail food, as a retail chain that use scanners. You can as well use scanners on this solution. And then there is also, it is also adaptive to any screen. Okay, this solution can be used on any screen. Of course, as you can see, you can use it on laptop, you can use it on Android devices, touch screen, you can use it on palm top, desktop, whatever system, whatever screen. It is very, very adaptive. Okay, so then we also have inventory deduction, which serves at the front end. You can, there is a reduction of inventory as sales is ongoing. That's another unique features. And then we also have multiple branches customization. I've mentioned before, we can easily customize your various branches, to suit whatever is their various activities, especially with this front end solution. And then we have customers cost classification. We have designed the solution in such a way that it takes care of every aspect, different categories of customers. If you talk about the walk-in customer, like you can see here already, we have walk-in customer, we have call-in customers, we have corporate customers, we have, different categories of customers. This solution has been designed to take care of that. And then we also have, mode of payment classification. How do customers make payment? Do they make payment by POS? Do they make payment, by bank transfer? If you want to see the different payment, how different payments are being made, of course, there are places we can actually look at that. When I'm going to the experiment, okay, let me just go straight here on that payment. I've not choose any transaction. Let me just choose transaction and let me go to pay. As you can see here, we have cash payment option, bank transfer option, POS option, bank deposit option. Even under the POS option, the bank deposit option, and the bank transfer option, we have listed, in fact, we are listed as many banks as possible. Or if you have your own dedicated bank that you are using, we are going to customize them into the solution, so that what your sales people have to do is when they click on POS, they just have to choose which of the bank that POS is assigned to and choose it. We are doing this so that we can make reconciliation, at the end of the day, very easy and very simplified. That is why we said, look, we have the experience, we understand what is very important in the business. And then we also have payment format, details. Payment format, what kind of, how do they implement the payment? The payment that they are paying, is it, subtotal payment, net total payment, different format, is also being taken care of. And then we have the customer information management system. This front end has been designed to capture the details of your customers, their birthday, their full name, their phone number, their anniversaries, whatever unique information that you need, in order to keep in touch with your customers. We have designed them in this solution so that you can capture those information. Then you talk about the sales and the reporting. Everything has been captured. Let me just quickly take you through very briefly, on, how some aspect of this front-end solution. Remember, I told you this solution comes as a package. A package means you have the front end and you have the back end. So what we are looking at right now is the front end. I'm also telling you that the front end can also be installed independent of the back end, but that is not usually advisable because the back end have all the complete features and other modules. Modules is such as inventory modules, accounting modules, production modules. All those ones, we have them at the back end, the back end solution. But this front end solution only focus on sales, on the retail sales, most importantly, sales, and also a little bit of other areas like the payment, the payment options, the payment classifications, and the payment structure. Okay. And then there's also, provisions for just a little bit of inventory, but majorly it focuses on the finished product, because that's what we are exchanging, with money with the customer. Okay. So we have different product groups. We have the drinks. These are major group, or the main group: drinks, cakes, bread, food. You can have as many as possible. Then under the drinks, we now have the subgroup, or what we call the item family. We have the spirit, the wine, the beverages, the rum, the vodka. Let me see what we have here. Okay, here is beer. Okay, so these are subgroup. Then under the subgroup, you can then begin to have, like, for example, in the beverage, we have the Coke, the Fanta, the malt. I mean, you can list as many possible as here. If you are also into product like the energy drink, of course, you can create a subgroup for energy drink, so that under it, you can have your Power Horse, your Monster, your Fearless. I mean, whatever, any other varieties of energy drink, you can list them out here. Okay. So we have the food. Under food, we have soup, we have swallow, we have rice, we have sauce, and then of course under soup we have a pussy soup. Okay, so that is that for that. And here we have the cashier. Remember, I sign in as what administrator. If I were to sign in with my personal name, as a, let me say I'm a cashier, and then my name is Esther. So when I sign in as Esther, then Esther is going to appear here. Then here. Here you stay here to change the quantity. Like I said, you have already highlighted me. Okay, I can change the quantity here to 3. You make like press 3, I've come here, then all I need to do is to do enter. So the quantity change to 3. Another option I have, if I want to change this to 3, is that I can easily be increasing it from here. Okay, so of course I already talked about this. Then here, if I want to remove any of the products, with this I can just remove the product. And then I've already talked about this. Here is for payment, if I want to make payment. And here, if I want to put any transaction on hold, maybe the customer is not yet ready to make payment, he's still like trying to make up his mind on one or 2 other items, I can just click here and put this particular product on hold. That gives me the opportunity to, take the next customer order, satisfy the next customer. And then when the other customer is ready, all I need to do is to recall. The moment I recall, you can see there are a lot of products that are already on hold. So I can just, double click any one of them, and the product comes up, and then I can continue with the transaction. Okay, here it's just to make a transfer between one outlet and another. Then here, if I want to do the list of the sales item, these are sales header, these are sales detail. So, I mean, if I know all the items that I've sold for the day, this is where I can look at them and just look at them as they are heading here. And then here they appear as details. Okay, so here, if I want to raise invoice for any transaction to a customer, I can just do this, key in all the details, and the invoice will be generated, and then I can print it out and give it to the customer. So here, and just simply talk about for most of the retail food chain, sometimes we must have forgot to put a price tag on any of the product, and the customer pick it up. Customer want to know the price of that item, and we bring it to the cashier, and the cashier will use the scanner, and scan the barcode of that item. And the moment it does that, the name of that item will come up and the price will come up, so you can communicate to the customer what is the price. Okay, so of course here, if I want to log out, I can log out from here. Let me say I want to change my shifts, I can do that here. If I want to exit completely from the solution, I do that here. I'm going to talk about settings later. And here, of course, as we all know, this for the X reading. So if I want to close the shift, this will take care of that. And then if I want to close the cells for that day, that is what I do here. Here, if I want to change the password, this is, let me just click this and just change the password. You can as well do all these functions with the backend. Everything you are doing here can also be done at the back end. That is the beauty of the back end, and there is more to the back end than the front end that we are looking at the moment. Of course, this is for calculator. So if you want to have any multiplication, addition, subtraction that you want to do, you can always do it here. So let's go back to the setting. Once again, let me set here. Everything you are having here, we have it at the back end. So you can actually stay at the back end and control everything that happens at the front end. Remember, there are some features here that I have access to because I sign in as the administrator. Okay, because I have given the permission, my authorization have allowed me, to have access to everything. But if you are a salesperson or you are a cashier, or maybe depending on whatever category of the staff, you will be restricted to wherever you are being given permission to. So if there's no permission, to access all this aspect of the solution, you can only access wherever your permission allow you to access. Okay, so these are the settings. Usually, like I mentioned before, we don't normally allow sales people, to have access to the settings. Only the manager, the branch manager that can do that, or the branch supervisor, even supervisor. There are some areas the supervisor does not have access to. So if you are in there times you want to click this, it will not highlight. It will just tell you access restricted. Like the message will get access restricted. Okay, so here we arrange them in row. We make it so simple so that you can, the way we design the solution, everything, the structure and the design architecture is very simple. So you can see we have connection and system setting here. We have inventory, we have client and supply and staff, we have transaction details, and then we have orders. Okay, so I want to quickly talk about this. This aspect is for the connection purpose that has to do with the administrator. So I wouldn't want to go there, but let's look at the screen. You can see these are different colors, the item group, the item family that we are actually seen at the beginning of the presentation. So we can easily customize this color to suit, your brand colors. Okay, this way you have your business information, your company information. In fact, the group information is here. And then here we have the individual branch information, the branch name, the address, the email of the brand, the phone number of the branch. And the reason why we are doing this is when a customer buys things from any of the branch, each branch ID address, should be unique to that branch. So when a customer buys something, the receipt that is going to be printed out will carry the information on that branch. Now, let's also assume that maybe you have a sales point. Also want to talk, if you have a sales point, also remember, you may also want to install this solution in each of your sales point. Then the information will also appear: sales point, ID, description, abbreviation, business area, and which warehouse is feeding that sales point. Remember, we have a warehouse here. So there are businesses that have different warehouses, where items are being moved either as material or as finished product, to different branches. So this is where you are going to define each of those warehouses. Okay, warehouse. Okay, so here is document setup. Here we can define, like I do tell people here, we define things based on our the nomenclature. So if your business have different way of addressing some different thing, then we can, change it to suit the nomenclature or, the terminologies of your business. So we do that here. And then this advanced setting, this customer transaction details, this just where, to have the details of each of the customers. So you can quickly click here. When you click here, there is a box that will come up here. You have the customer details listed here. From here, if you double click any of the customer information about the customer, the transaction of the customer, and if there's any balance or outstanding payment, credit or debit balance on the customer, it will show here. So here we listed the item category, the group, and the family name. All those ones are taking place here, the inventory account, sales account, and so on. Most of this account is going to be defined, at the back end. It's at the back end that we are going to define. Remember, whatever we do at the back end is going to synchronize, with the front end. And here is where we list out the item. There are a lot of things that we can do actually at the front end as well. And that's what I'm showing also these are the things, here you can list out different products. If you want to list out product from the front end, you can do that. But if you want to restrict access, to introduction of product at the front end, then you can restrict it and then do everything from the back end. So the back end solution that's why we call it the business manager. It's the master solution. It is the master solution, and it's very important. If you want to get both the front end and the back end. The back end, give you total control of everything that is happening at the front end across each of your business locations. So here is where you list out the product you want to take. For example, if you want to do fried rice, okay, so item group, which group do we have fried rice? Is it bread, cake, drinks? Of course, it is food. And then you now begin to look at the family. Okay, we already have rice here. So we have fried rice, this is the family. Here you can put the picture of your fried rice. Here you can decide on the supply. If you have supplier supplying fried rice, put the information here. You can also do raw material setup here. Wow, you can actually use the front end to set up the raw materials. But again, like I mentioned before, all these things can also be controlled, from the back end. It can also be controlled from the back end. So restriction can be put here. Then you can have your setting, your stock, the minimum and the maximum, stock level, and then you can also do the barcode. So once you do all these things, put the cost price, the markup, the selling price, and everything, you click on add, save, and the whole thing will be, it will appear at the product list items. Okay, so you do that, and you have quite a lot of the price structure. You may decide to put the stock transfer, the currency. What currency do you want to use? Are you selling in naira, in dollar? You can define everything here, so that even if the customer comes in to pay in dollar, the exchange rate have already been defined. It all depends on how you want it. Sales order, you can raise sales order. This is also very important, especially for pharmaceutical businesses. The pharmacies have two levels of payment. You have where you go and get the invoice or the sales order, and then you have where you go and make payment, and get a receipt. So that's what we have also put into consideration. So you can raise sales order, at one point, and then go to another point for payment, still from the same solution, installed at different location, different assets. So now, in that case, definitely, obviously, you have a sales attendant who is be the one, that will attend to you and raise the sales invoice, and then you have a cashier, who will receive payment, and issue the receipt for you. Okay, so you have all this information. You have your POS setup. You can do your POS setup. Under this POS setup, this is where, you can, decide on what should appear even on the receipt and what should appear on other places. This is where you do like show VAT in receipt, show discount receipt, use end of day. You can choose whatever activities, that you want, to be carried out at the front end. Remember, once again, all this information here, because I sign in as the administrator, that's why I have access to them. It's not everybody that have access to them. And that is definitely going to be defined by whoever is the administrator of your business. If you are the one, then you will have access to all of them and decide how you want it to go. And this is the information on the receipt. When you print out your receipt, what comes out, these are the information. You will get all those information have been taken care of. Of course, we have a sales refund. There is a need for a customer to be refunded. That can also be done. This can be done both at the front end. It can also be done at the back end. It all depends on how you want it. For multiple branches, for example, of course, you can give the manager, the branch manager access, to at least a high level of access to perform some of these functions. But again, it all depends on your business structure and how you want your control system to be. Okay, so, and then we talk about the purchase, the payment, the production. Okay, and then the sales report is also very important. Here you have different, varieties of report. You have sales analysis. Under sales analysis, you can just choose the range of the date and then generate for all sales point or generate per cashier. So you want it for the entire sales point. You want it per cashier. You can choose the name of the cashier here. Like you can see, we register start name, cash out. Okay, that is at the point of signing in. So you can choose and then you generate. So you generate whatever report you can have. You have the report for top selling items, items or report, and so on and so forth. You can even check your profit and loss statement, at the front end. Your gross profit too can also be assessed at the front end. So we have designed the front end in such a way that it has a lot of features that your people at each of your location can actually use it to analyze and know their business position at that particular location. Well, you can assess everything from the back end, which is the business manager solution or the master solution. That's how we call it, the master solution. So here you have the invoice, the receipt, the delivery, the expenses, stock request. Yeah, quite a lot of things. The Airtime setup. So here you can actually set up the Airtime. If you want to change the invoice system, you can do it. So there are so many other things that we can add. It all depends on what you want, in your business. Like I mentioned, this is a customized solution. So what we do is we look at your business, we assess all the report that we think you need, and the one that you need, you have told us that you need, and we design them and make sure that they are being captured by the solution. Whatever you need, we can always put that into consideration, when we are doing our solution. So once again, this is the front end aspect of the solution. We also have the back end. You can use this across all your locations. You can also use it if you have only one location. Of course, you can start with this, and then as your business is growing, you can then get the back end. But it's always advisable. It's very advisable that you have both the front end and the back end, so that other aspect of the business can be taken care of. Take, for example, the production, the inventory management, the accounting, auditing, a lot of other things can be taken care of. So it is always advisable you have both the front end and the back end, because those two made up the complete, retail business solution, the front end and the back end. Remember, the front end is actually is called the retail solution, and the back end is the business manager solution. So please feel free to reach out to us. We want to know your request. I mean, we have quite a lot of other solutions, in our STEM. So next to this, we are going to look at the back end solution. All right, thank you very much. Let's go straight to the back end solution and see how it works.